What do you mean? I'm not saying I have all the plants. I'm just saying this is a reasonable amount of plants for a man to have.
You've tripled the amount of plants in your frame since I just mentioned that I'm killing one.
Well, that feels like a you problem, babes. See, there's no rhythm in that even. See, you can't make the head and the head and shoulders are not aligning. Is
I
that
can do whatever I want. Are you jot that down?
you? You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
I can do whatever I want, actually.
Okay, all right. Well, on that, ugh, I can't breathe. How you doing?
Good. How are you? We didn't have any like pre-time, but I thought up a terrible like other question that I want to send to you or something
Yeah.
that I haven't had the time to think through in the context of mutanity as a allegory, but in world as a comic book concept.
Right.
I am very interested in,
Okay.
and it is
Yeah. Clear,
the.
clear the throat, please.
I have to clear my instrument.
Yeah.
The question would be, how do we get rid of the pit or replace the pit or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if we're getting rid of it, what do we do? We have an island full of people who are sometimes murderous and sometimes, whatever. So,
Yeah.
right, like, if we were to pluck it out
Mm,
and remove the concept of carceral punishment,
yeah.
what goes in its place? And I thought of something that is actually awful. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was thinking you would lean into the infrastructure that having an island full of powers gives you. There are things with restorative justice or making things even that you can do with empathy and telepathy that you can't do in our structures, like showing you in very real time how what you did made someone feel or impacted them.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I think you could build an interesting justice system based on people's powers. But then, effectively, one of the things that I didn't like about Krakoa was that the running of it made some people who maybe didn't choose it natural parts of the machinery. And so you're minding your business, and then they go, "Oh, by the way, we need you to run a carceral system, or like run a
Yeah.
justice system." They're like, "Actually, I
Like,
like it."
actually, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So, but what was your thing?
Well, so this is, in my opinion, okay, this is all built around what I want to happen to Charles Xavier when Krakoa comes back, right?
Okay, what's that?
I want him to lose his powers. And
Oh,
okay, let me just say that
yeah.
it is it made me feel very much like Forge thinking of it, right? Like,
Mhm.
but I want Charles Xavier used his powers as a weapon against his own people
Yeah.
and potentially the thing that haunts me is like that line will haunt me forever. And by the way, there's never been a more concise, like I think you tweeted about it, there's never been a more concise takedown of his ideology than what Magneto said to Storm when he was dying, right? So he says when he's mentally forcing everyone through the gates to sort of an unknown destination, he says, "You will save human lives and perhaps those of your own." And the way it's worded is so haunting to me
Mhm.
because it is save the humans and maybe you'll also save yourselves.
Yeah.
And we'll earn their love by sacrificing ourselves and maybe you'll survive. Maybe. But that
Yeah.
is secondary. So I, in my mind, thought, well, we need to take away his ability. They need to take away his ability to do this again to people. And I don't know. And like, so that spun out to me as like, can you sentence a Charles Xavier to 10 years without powers? He doesn't have his telepathy for 10 years. And he cannot force people or influence them in that way. Now, it obviously gets very messy if you think about it in any other context than like just people with powers. And I haven't given it thought outside of that yet, but I am interested in the idea that like you
Ooh.
have abused your ability to live in this community.
So that's it. That's really interesting. We're now having a completely different question, by the way.
I know, no. I have lots of thoughts about the
Really?
Krakoa question. I have so many thoughts about the
Ooh.
other thing. I just like I cannot get the thought out of my mind now, and
Okay. So, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to do that one? Do you want to do this one?
no, let's do the other one. I just needed to like sort of get it out of my system and like talk about it. We can talk about it again later. We can talk about it not at all. I have a lot, like I love the idea of what you're saying, but we have seen Gene do psychic therapy with Juggernaut or with
Yeah,
Sabretooth before. Like we've seen that, we've seen it happen with Cassandra Nova, and it doesn't stick always. And
yeah.
I think it's because of a lot of things, but I think like out of world, it's because the writers don't care for it to necessarily the rehabilitation to work.
And then once you're a mutant, but then that also fucks it up as well. Because how do you write Charles Xavier as a human for ages? And then also, is that exactly
Well,
what he wants? And then B, does that mean, will he do like a right wing grift transformation where he goes, well, actually, you've actually given me the thing that I was pushing for? Would that convince Charles that actually everybody needs to be human? Because what happens is instead of bowing their heads and minimizing their differences and hoping people will ignore them, is just to erase them. So would you just make a new Moira by doing that?
well, that's what that I was literally just about to say. Like that, then we're talking about Moira because Moira's thing ultimately was we will cancel the mutant gene even before they're born. We
Yes.
will make sure that they are not born with this burden or whatever. I don't think so. I wonder if Charles doesn't go away. I don't know. I it's so
So this is
pathetic.
less about how do we reimagine the pit and how we erase Charles Xavier from canon forever.
No, he actually can't go away, but he was powerless for a very long time in comics, and he wasn't irrelevant. He still had like a role and stuff. So he's done it before. He's toughed it out before. I just think it would like suit him to understand the punishment of like your thriving nation that you consider yourself the father of
Okay.
grows on without you and
I think we touched on
beyond you.
that with the exile a little bit. The powerlessness is he's gone. He's been cut off from community, and I think you're right, and I think that is 100% going to happen because I do not think another mutant will fuck with him again. Part of what
Mm,
he did, part of the like depth and ew, ickiness. Do you know what's nice about video episodes? I don't have to be like eloquent anymore. Like I can just go like ew.
ugh.
Ugh. You know, part of like the ear of it is that he got in everybody's minds, but you've
Mhm.
perpetrated a consent. You've violated the consent, and you have like agency assaulted every single mutant on the planet.
Yep.
Everyone. You've
Totally.
directly violated everyone. So it's not even like someone heard about it and was like, "Oh, that sounds fucked up." It was you and them a
Yep.
million times, and so I don't
Yep.
think anybody is going to fuck with him for a very long time.
Yes.
I
And I
think
will reiterate, he
so.
did
No,
it
no,
for the humans.
before you reiterate, I have a fucking show to do. Please.
We usually have so much time before, and now you're just rushing me. It's fine. We're already recording. Whatever. Crank it out, Ash.
Do your show, girl. Um, So, hi. Hello. Hi, everyone. This is X of Words. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to figure out some sort of animation to do or not this, but hey. I'm Ashley, Van the First, and X of Words. You can find me on VANTHEFIRST and XOFWORDS. And this lovely person here is, can I use your full name?
Yes, of course.
Evan Smythe. Right?
That's me.
And you can find Evan on the Smythe Works on Twitter, which is THESMYTHWORKS.
Correct.
Yes. Is it different on Instagram or?
I don't have an Instagram. I'm not on any other social media, actually,
Oh,
unfortunately. I'm so sorry.
she's got class.
It's actually because I'm old. I'm like really old.
It's actually because I'm old.
It's not even gonna front with you. It's because I'm old.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Hello.
Oh no.
Hey, hello, my friend. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too, darling.
Okay, all right. So today's question at 10 minutes and 16 seconds is which parts of Krakoa do we hope survive? Which I think weirdly kind of has a lot of overlap.
It
There's a
does.
crossover
I
in
would
that vein
agree.
of what we were talking about before. So, all
I
right,
would
with
agree.
that, I am going to hit the timer and our X starts. Oh, I'm never going to get better at this, am I? Now, I should not show the camera the timer because I'm going to have to edit this and that might not be correct. So we're going, we're going. It's good.
Oh, let's go.
We got 9 minutes. All right.
All right, should I start? Can I go?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I think that there is. Okay, so for years, right, mutants had to adhere to Charles Xavier's version of a dream of incorporation and appeasement. And that in that version of the dream, it earns them a seat at the table.
Yes,
So for a very long time, that was the only metric by which mutants could be considered good.
yes,
And actually, to the contrary, mutants were considered dangerous by default, and many of them are introduced in scenes where their powers manifest, and then the police are there or the military has to respond because they're so dangerous. So by default, mutants were considered out of control until the X-Men could arrive and bring them to the school because that's where good mutants learn to control their
civilized.
dangerous powers. Correct. They have to be civilized, absolutely, to fit into society, of course.
Yeah,
And they have to earn a position. So if they're not out there saving lives, well, what are they doing with these powers? What danger are they presenting to people? If they're not serving us, what are they doing? So when I was thinking about this question, the first thing that occurs to me is that there will be mutant children born on Krakoa who manifest powers and will not have feelings of terror and isolation as their first experience. And I thought that
yeah,
was that's just such a cool idea that they get to grow up in this environment that is made for them. So in that way, to me, Krakoa represents kind of a new dream, a new twist on the dream, right? So instead of the school, Xavier's school, to be precise, I know I don't have like a real vendetta against him, but I just don't like him. They give the child, they give the child.
like please don't
So
get me
I
like
think it's becoming abundantly clear that I have a grudge against him.
yeah. If you can whack the forehead, you do.
I do think. Never mind. I won't get into it. So, so speaking of the children, if we come to this through the lens of this is for the children, which I think is what's great about what they've given as the core to Emma's storyline, right? They've given the children a land of their own, and the best part to me is that they built it in a void, right? So that's figuratively and literally they built in a void. And that is what feels like a big leap of faith in all of it to me. They built an island in this absence in the middle of the ocean and they asked people to come. And I think it only works because the place was built for them to inhabit by them on their terms. They
Hmm.
said to the world, both figuratively and literally, accept us or don't, we've made space for ourselves.
Yes.
And what they're able to accomplish from that is to me the part that I hope we take out of this in the world of Marvel and out of the world. You build a thing on your own and it is terrifying, and you hope that the audience will find you, that the community will come to you and follow you to it because it's for them. You want to build a thing for them, and you don't have to build within these power structures, these hierarchies that put you in a place,
Yeah.
so to speak. So that is the thing I love so much about this era, and I hope it lives.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
Are you saying like so while you were talking, I was like the destruction of a relational identity, like a concept
Yeah.
of you that is built on what you are to humans or how you contrast humans
Yes.
or
In the
and
context of humanity.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
I am a mutant, and that means that because all of it feels like everything that Charles Xavier ever taught mutants about themselves was about what they had to do to appease humanity what they had to do to control themselves in order to live among humanity, what they could and couldn't do with their powers that would have been seen as moral or not moral by humanity. So,
Yes.
from practical to moral to just everything was about assimilation, and that's the difference, because it wasn't to me about equality, because equality is a meeting of both places in the middle. It's like you understand our distinctness and our difference, and we don't have to erase that or pretend it's not a thing or deny it or reduce it in order to fit in with you. But we both find a place in the middle that works for what shapes we are, instead of me having to be more circle.
Yeah.
That's and so yeah. I think Krakoa did it really pushed to the front, like, what is mutanity on its own, away from all of that. And then what did they start? Then there was different planets, and there's different
Yep.
cultures, and there's different biomes, and there's different this and that, and arts. Like it looked incredible. So yeah,
Yeah.
I totally think so. What do I hope Krakoa? I hope Krakoa. I hope what survives is stories of mutant joy, and also hijinks, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And no, but I think it kind of plays to the same thing, which is, as much as I love action, as much as the next X-Men fan, I love conflict and I love drama and I like fighting and da 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 da. I don't need that to be the whole thing. That can be, let that be 70-80% of the stories. But I think the island and Krakoa gave us the ability and the platform to do stories like, the Galora Karma love story,
Yeah.
the Marvel Infinity, the love scene, like things like that. The story with Marrow, and like watching mutants live instead of always watching them suffer.
Right. And thrive.
Yeah, and before, the closest that we got to that before were these. So baseball, you might get one issue every 8 months that was about like a baseball game or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was the same shit always. It was just an excuse for somebody to do a fucking fastball special. And we've seen the shiny man throw the hairy man. We've seen it. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just the breadth. The Krakoa allowed for the breadth of mutant stories, and I'd love that to continue. And I think, like with the Infinity Comics like format, it might do.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I love what they've been doing in the Infinity Comics. I also would say, to add to that list would be Betsy and Rachel in a
Huh?
mainstream comic. Betsy and Rachel in a mainstream comic getting to be lesbians in a
Yeah.
mainstream comic today is that's absolutely outstanding to me. I
Lesbians,
don't. I
yes.
haven't. Listen,
Betsy,
I
nah.
haven't read I didn't read Captain Britain. I can't keep up with all of
And
them
why
anymore.
is that, friend?
I don't have the stamina to keep up with all of them anymore. So
Huh?
that's what I'm
Don't
saying.
don't touch your headpiece like you're losing signal. Don't do that.
I'm so sorry. What was that? I'm so sorry. You cut out.
No,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah, because what lesbians amazing. Please, yes.
yes.
Any form of karma, Galora, Danny Moonstar. Uh, uh, oh come on, how am I blanking on her name? Magic, Ileana
Yana.
Rasputin, Rachel even.
Yeah. Kate
Rachel,
even got a
what?
little bit of a moment.
Throw something like, please, a yes. Even
Yep.
Bling, Mercury. Give
Yep.
us like Bling mostly. In fact, why did I say the rest of them first?
Absolutely. Yeah. Blink first.
Bling. Bling. Yes. And well, when Mercury did that thing where she, instead of going to the gala in a dress, she just dripped
Oh my God.
oil into her skin, and it was. I was like, an innovator.
Yeah.
But
Changing the game.
yeah, oh, okay, we've got one. We've got one. All right. So, what are you glad now that we're in Fall of X? What are you glad that we're losing?
Oh.
Yeah,
Charles Xavier. No, I'm kidding. But like no, but like actually,
I should have known.
the ideology and Charles's dream has been proven dead. And if, editorially, it does make a backslide, then we will all have to look each other in the eye and say, we know
Yeah.
that this was a decision sort of ignorant to what it means in the world, to us, all of it,
Yeah.
that this is such a status quo shift. Like, listen, when I hear people complain about Krakoa and they apply like literalist real world arguments to a separatist state against a fictional comic book world, I just think of high school, right? Like, there's a change in status quo. It has upended the established hierarchical power structures. It shatters the farce that proving your goodness will ever earn you a place at the table. And there are people that rely on those hierarchies to grant them inherent social power.
Yeah.
So, to those people, a place like Krakoa makes no sense because they don't have a place in it that's pre-baked. They don't know where they fit into that world. And so, yeah, like, let it go. I don't want Xavier's dream anymore. Let it go. Make it go away. We don't need to have children suffering as they manifest powers anymore. I'm sick of that. I would say, like, my second point of things
Here
that I
it
would
is.
want to
Here
keep.
it is. I knew.
No, no, no.
You
The
knew
thing,
it.
no, no, no.
You heard the
The
time go
thing,
off. You heard it, and then
no, no, no.
you push your forehead right into the lens to run over the finish line.
Stop bullying me. You're a,
Okay. All right.
you're a bully, Ashley Elaine. Now, the other thing that I would want to survive is mutant circuits, right? We've seen them.
Yes.
They terraformed a planet. I mean, like, just keep doing cool shit like that. That is so, so cool to me. So that's all I had to say.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. This was good.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. Yeah. I've been Ashley.
I've been Evan, and this is X of Words.
I feel you forgot the immortal.
I
See?
did. I'm an OG, so sorry for being a legacy.
I thought you were going to say you were old.
I am also old.
All right.
Hey, bye.